Okay, guys. So I was out here just walking, and so I said, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do my part two of Wicked as a portal. And if you have not seen the movie, I know this is not, now before I go any further, this is not based on the play. This is purely based on the movie. And I rewatched it and I saw more codes that are exceptionally potent right now for all of us. Right? You know, I mean, I don't have to tell you. Again, if you listen to part one, I go into the planets, but I really want to get this out because we are headed smack dab into a very powerful new moon in Leo, while Mercury is retrograde in Leo as well, amongst the other wonderful things that are happening. And the characters in Wicked give such potent mirrors for us to engage deeper thoughts so that we can take advantage of what I love to call the cosmic alchemy that we are all experiencing. But what if we could know when those alchemy points are happening so we can best utilize them no matter what tools, no matter what system we are using, but just by astrology. And so I did this with myself and I'm sharing it with others. So if you want to learn more, um, DM me and I will give you all the information. But anyway, back to the movie. So we are headed to a new moon in Leo, and I'm going to begin my next series later today on the Disney Plus series Ironheart with Riri Williams. So before I kick that off, I want to give you some tools to apply as we start looking at the next mirrors in Ironheart to prepare us for this new moon in Leo that's coming up on the 24th, as well as the Mercury Kazemi in Leo and other things that happen. But anyway, back to Wicked. So when we look at Wicked, we of course know the principal characters of Elphaba and her name alone. I broke that down, and Glinda. And a lot of us were looking at this and probably, oh, Glinda, she was a mean girl, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. And it's true. Oftentimes, we get a picture, but we don't know the whole story. But to me, Glinda is still not a villain. At best, she is a complex character that is the exact mirror of Elphaba. And a lot of us are claiming that we are Elphaba. I know I have. But if I'm quite honest, there's been times that I've slipped into the persona of Glinda. And a lot of times people slip into Glinda. We identify with Glinda because she really was about survival. She was not ready to leap forth. Elphaba had always been an outsider, different, alone. And the whole concept of being one with Glinda, Glinda did start off being a mean girl. But I do believe as the story progressed, Glinda did appreciate Elphaba, but she like appreciated her for the the proximity that she had to her. But she liked her. And at the very end, once Elphaba and Glinda both find out that the whole system that they were so fascinated with and wanting to uphold was not even true, Glinda had to make a choice for survival. It was nothing personal. So she's really not a bad person. So to me, Elphaba chose, she made a choice. Both of them made choices for survival. Elphaba leaped out of the window because she, already being an outsider, could not fathom going into a system like that where she clearly was not valued other than what she could do, but it was not genuine love and care. You see? So as we look at this dynamic, we have to take and ask ourselves as we look at Mercury retrograde in Leo, is ask, you know, where can I show up better for myself and honor others? Where is the balance? Where is our image and our ego tied to survival? Is it still viable? Because survival is always important. We always have to take care of our root chakra. But with Saturn as well as Neptune going retrograde right now in Aries, we are being asked to look at the different philosophies and habits and structures that we need to possibly review and change to get to the very goal that we want. And that's for all of us. So look at that. And then when we look at Madame Morrible, it's the same thing. Madame, we can look and say that she's a villain, but again, she's a product of her system. And a lot of us have heard where we have trusted people, may they be friends, mentors, elders, that may not unwillingly have not had our best interest at heart. No, let me take that back. Our elders and people that are a part of the system and gatekeep, not to necessarily hold us back, but to keep us safe. There's so many layers of things that we are all unlearning because the system cannot stand. Pluto is in Aquarius, so it's shaking and restructuring things. The future that we want, we can have. We may have to go about it in a different way. The old structures and the way of doing things have to be reviewed for the essence. And it's a beautiful time to look at these characters to really understand ourselves together. Now, as a preview, I'm going to be talking about Ironheart, and I want to deal with the armor that we create to make ourselves feel safe, right? Based on grief, and how we can transmute that grief just in time for this Leo new moon to create our own frequency of safety and security and power that is not manufactured or hardwired in grief and fear, but in ancestral code and remembrance and honoring. So I look forward to that. And again, if you're not following me, my name is Kendall Bell. I'm also known as the Joy Factor Mama, and make sure you subscribe